want to introduce you to, most of you know Jason Helmintoller, local fella, has invested in our town, bought one of the most prominent buildings in our town to make a tremendous difference to the town. And he's going to share some of his vision with you tonight, his and his wife's vision for what we affectionately call the red gas station across from Town Hall on the corner. Jason.
Thanks for having me here, and also I'd just like to, can everybody hear me? Echo the sentiments earlier about how wonderful it is to see a community do something like this. And it doesn't surprise me when Chuck told me to come down that it would be well attended. Clifton Forge has always been one of those towns that have great pride and community involvement, so I'm not as surprised to see as many people here as there is. So thanks for having me. So I am, if you ask my wife, and thank goodness she's not here, she would probably tell you I'm one of the more impulsive buyers that you will ever meet. So I bought, this is a true story, I bought a lake house without her ever seeing it. And I'm still married, so it worked out. It was okay. So what I did was I saw that this building was going to become available, and I have always, of course, I'm in mortgage lending. I've been with Alcoa for 20 years, but my dad and mom owned Country Garden Florist for a long time, and so I grew up in the family of self-employed workers and own your own business. So I've always had that itch, if you would. So through my travels, one of my favorite things to do is either eat or enjoy something to drink or something outside. And that is one of the few things that we really don't have a lot of that in our area. So when that building came available that Chuck is referencing, I had an idea. My dad, he had two things he loved to do, and I'm still kind of between the two. Originally, it was presented as we were going to do an old style ice cream parlor where we would fling. We're going to keep the garage bay doors; those will open. There will be plenty of outdoor seating, live music. But really, my wife, her blessing for this came for one reason. We want to provide something in Clifton Forge or in Allegheny County that we can make affordable for pretty much everyone. My wife was a single mom for the first 9 years that she had Sean, and then when we got married, it really helped her when it became a two-income family. But for 9 years, she struggled as a single mom, and a lot of times, you know, when the kids would go get ice cream, and she just wouldn't be able to do it because she couldn't afford to do that with being a single mom and single income. And so her blessing behind all this was we make it affordable. So that is the plan. There's some of the pictures, and I've had these renderings done through another local person. So that's kind of the concept. So we don't want to oversaturate the area with ice cream parlors, and so we're still thinking about that. So plan B may be a hamburger hot dog establishment. That there's a place, I don't know if anybody's been to Myrtle Beach, but there's a place down there called Hamburger Joe's. My dad loved it. We would go to the beach, and if it was his way, he'd eat there all 7 days. And I keep referencing my dad because the plan, whichever way we go, it's going to be called Clyde's. Because I want to honor his honor, and hold with it for a second. So that's what we'll do. We'll name it Clyde's. And one thing the reason I want to do that also, he's got some grandkids coming up through that need somewhere to work. So that was another reason I wanted to do it. So I've already started gutting it. It will be fixed very soon. It's going to look very similar to, as you see, if we go the ice cream route, it's going to look very similar to what you see here. And if we go the hamburger route, it'll look a little bit different. So you've kind of always, if I'm going to use a sports term here, you've got to be able to call an audible. Sometimes What I want to do is make sure that we don't oversaturate a small community with too much of the same product, because we want to see multiple businesses in the area. And so to be determined which way we go. When these slides were prepared, it was going to be definitely an ice cream shop, but since then we've had a couple of those open in the area, so my wife and I are still kicking around the idea and possibly making an audible call to a hamburger, hot dog establishment, very basic menu. But either way it's going to go, I can promise you it'll be very affordable, and it will be outdoor seating, and you're going to see an eyesore in Clifton Forge for a while that we're going to just basically rejuvenate and put some life into. And I hope to see many of you guys enjoying whatever we offer there outside, fellowshipping and having a good time. So if anybody has any questions, I'll be glad to answer those that now, if you have them. Chuck, I don't know if anybody has any questions.
Consider having coffee.
Well, we're also, it would probably be breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Somebody has told me that we probably need a breakfast venue with Dairy Queen no longer serving breakfast, so it would be something along those lines. So I'm in the process of trying to learn, potentially running a small restaurant, because I'm not getting out of the mortgage business, but although these rates will make you think about it. But so breakfast is definitely on the plan as well, and coffee obviously. But we wouldn't be a specialized coffee shop, but just somewhere where people can come and have a coffee outside and enjoy catching up.
I just want to say thank you.
My dad used to own the Leggett's building, and if you know anything about my dad, he did not want to ever sell anything. Even when Country Garden Florist wasn't going to be there anymore, and when it was going to transfer, he wanted to do it without selling the building, and I had to explain to him you can't do that. And Mr. Graham knows a little bit about how hard it is to convince my dad into selling something. He sold probably his last. One of his last things that he loved the most was his land in Lowmore, and he sold that to Emily. And I think if it was anybody other than Emily, my dad would maybe try to find a way to get it back. But he was so happy that he used to coach her in sports that she bought it, so that meant a lot. So yes.
Jason, what's an estimated time of opening?
Well,
We won't hold to just
Next month.
well, so I'm at the mercy of contractors. Does anybody kind of know what that feels like? The good thing is I've done a lot to my house, and I've spent a lot of money with a contractor that I feel like he's starting to make plans. So another thing that kind of gets the hurdle is for it to be an ice cream parlor, the existing building is probably enough. If we're going to go the restaurant style of things, kitchen space is going to eat up so much of the inside that, because we want to still have some indoor seating. So we're still trying to figure that part out. So we're doing measurements and learning all that. So the transformation of the building will start probably as soon as we get the snow off the ground. I know my nephews have already started gutting it. I don't know if you've probably seen them working there. So it's pretty much been gutted. Now we actually have to put a roof on it. I don't know if you've seen it, but there's actually no roof on the building. So we've got to get it under roof, and then the contractor, and I plan on using Matt Westfall. I don't know if anybody, he does great work. He's done a lot of stuff for me. I converted a barn in my house into I call it my man barn. It's a barn that used to have horses and cows in it that now has a golf simulator and TV. So it's unbelievable what he can do and the vision he has. So I imagine it's going to look a lot like what you see. So.